history between Cloud9 and Fnatic all started during Season 3. Cloud9 was really dominant in North America.
We first played Fnatic at our very first World. We gave them Kassadin.
And the first pick, Kassadin. Here comes the Quadra. They're going to give it to him.
And we lost.
Fnatic are going to go through to the semi-finals, taking down Cloud9.
The next match we had against Cloud9 was at the Battle of the Atlantic.
We were the deciding factor on whether NA or EU won, and they gave us Kassadin.
Well, he's not going to get banned. Instant pick for Cloud9. Oh, but no highs on the side. He's going to get reckless. A beautiful rope coming
They just swept us. I think they were really eager to have their revenge.
Cloud9 versus Fnatic. It's a long-standing rivalry here for the last 2 years. Now these guys are fighting for control over Group B. Votes are coming through. A double kill for Balls. A triple kill for Balls. Holy cow! They're all gone. A pentakill for Balls.
Today is going to be a crucial day for us.
Every loss is going to be basically the deciding factor of whether they're going to move on or not.
Not only we have to beat Cloud9, but we have to beat everyone.
Hometown heroes strike first blood. AHQ takes down Fnatic. Holy cow, they're all gone. A pentakill for Balls.
Hello and welcome to the final day of the 2015 League of Legends World Championship Group Stage. The crowd is going nuts. You see the thunder sticks in the audience being slammed together. There's plenty of energy in the building, and rightfully so, as it's our final day. And what better way to celebrate our final day of the group stages than with Group B. Now, earlier in the day, we saw Huni and Yellow Star in their practice room looking to rebound after a somewhat disappointing week 1. AHQ, of course, warming up for the first game of the day today. They're going to be going up against Invictus Gaming, who we caught just moments ago heading to the stage. Rookie, of course, not wanting to be seen by the camera, saving it all for the stage. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson, anchoring the analyst desk as Group B takes to the rift with Tabe, Aiden Zyrene Moon, and Alberto Crumbs Rengifo. They're here to cover all of today's big plays, missed plays, and replays. Gentlemen, welcome to the final day of Group Stage.
Thank you for having us. I'm glad I'm going to be
It wasn't my choice.
America and Season 2.
All right. Well, yesterday, Group D played out their last 6 games, and when the dust settled, KT, Rolster, and Origin stood above the rest and will advance to the quarterfinals in London. Origin secured a spot in the knockout stage right away with a win over TSM, but struggled against the rest of the group as the day went on.
Yeah, this was kind of a really long game here, and we saw this game just really struggle to be closed out, and then Origin, this showed some of their flaws going into the rest of the day, and they lost a little bit of gas there at the end. They had such a good showing in week 1. They went 3-0, and then they weren't able to pull it out at the end, and they ended up getting that second seed. A little unfortunate there, but we did see Origin play a fantastic game, and they exceeded their own expectations.
I think that they really just showed what we had thought of Origin, that they came in with a very good strategy for a best of 1 against teams that had never seen them before. But once the teams really figured out what Origin was trying to do, on the day 2, it was a lot harder for them to take those commanding victories.
Of course, the team that made a surge yesterday was KT. They found their footing and finished the day strong, taking apart Origin to clinch the #1 seed.
And they went 3-0 in that second week. And all Korean teams have now made it out of groups, and they are combined 15-3. Like, these guys came to play some damn League of Legends. They are showing up. Week 1, there were some doubts whether or not the Western teams were a little bit equal or closing that gap, but week 2, it just shows that the Korean team still got it.
I think the Korean teams are always good. Even since their season 2 to season 5 now, they are always being really good. And there is also something we know that the Korean players are now all over the world too. That means they are really doing their best.
Yeah, that 15-3 record really speaks to the dominance of that region. And with just a handful of matches left to play out in the City of Lights, it's all about Group B, where coming into today, Cloud9 is on top at 3-0, while Invictus Gaming, Fnatic, and AHQ Esports Club are tied at 1-2. Now, those standings are sure to be shaken up as we start the day with AHQ versus China's Invictus Gaming. And then, of course, the hometown favorites Fnatic take on Cloud9. And later today, it's a rematch of Day 1's opener as the #1 European seeded squares off against IG. Starting with Cloud9, though, gentlemen, this is a Cinderella story. 7th in NA to leading their group coming into the second week of group stages.
You know, I cheer for them a lot, but I'm worried because coming into the tournament, nobody had any faith in them. You know, 0-6, one of the worst teams in the tournament. That's all that they got labeled as. And in the first week, they win 3 games, and now all of a sudden, they're NA's last hope. They're the one chance to represent the entire region when nobody wanted them. Now we're like, you know what? Let's jump on the Cloud9 bandwagon. I hope the pressure doesn't get to them.
Yeah, and Cinderella story is the perfect term for it because everybody's waiting for them to turn back into a pumpkin right now. Everybody is like, is Cloud9 going to be able to win one game this week and make it out of quarters and then represent North America?
Now, they have guaranteed themselves at least a tiebreaker to make it out of groups, given their 3-0 start. And if they win even one game, they will secure themselves a quarterfinal spot. So hopefully that helps curb some of the pressure that you're talking about, Crumbs, knowing that they only have to do so much in order to succeed this week. Then, of course, we have to look at AHQ, Fnatic, and IG, who are tied up for second. One team needs to step up or face the potential of a 3-way tie. So when we look at this pack of 3, who are we looking at to surge above the rest? Tabe?
I think IG is going to win because I'm a good friend of IG's coach, and he told me that they have secret weapon.
Insider info, Tabe.
Yeah, he told me that Kakao maybe will choosing Heikrim or Lee Sin jungling. And he said that if he really picks that, we have to put strong attention to him. And he said they are going to pick Kalista and Cannon bot. And
well, so now everybody listening is just going to ban those out. But what if that's the plan? What if they ban those out and they really have other strategies? Tommy, you're throwing everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
There's also other 2 secret weapon is this.
Well, let's not give away all their secret weapons. Let's not give away all their secret weapons. Come on. Now, moving down the line, the rest of the group, though, Fnatic and AHQ, we have to take a look at those teams. Because Fnatic had a disappointing week 1. Are they going to get it back together and make a surge here in week 2?
You know, for me, Fnatic, I think they have what it takes to really go back to their old form because the patterns that they had in the first week were a lot to the draft. They really struggled to come up with a new and adaptive draft to the 2015 Worlds. A lot of it had traits of their spectacular 18-0 season, but those picks aren't really going to cut it. You know, the Olaf, the Hecarim, that's the Shen support, which is all right, but those picks are struggling right now. So they've always come up with new and innovative drafts that focus around the mid lane, and even though it's a lot of power picks that are focused on farm, the compositions really revolve around Vivivin. So I'm hoping they go back to this style and really just go for that mid lane pressure. I want to see that Jace. He's so good at Jace. They've won so many games with it. Please go back to that Vivivin.
Yeah, and Vivivin is having an amazing tournament. This is his first Worlds coming out of the Challenger scene. He did play at MSI and got some international experience, but this is a kid who does not choke under pressure, and he always delivers. His scorelines have been fantastic. His farm has been amazing, but we do have to talk about Huni, and Huni has looked a little off kilter in that top lane. The Yasuo top, I understand the pick, I understand it in the composition. He did get a little bit behind, but when he gets behind, it always seems like he's just trying so hard to get back into the game by his own merits, which ends up getting them further behind sometimes because he's not working with the team.
Well, the expectations are set for the day. I want to move ahead to our Twitter question of the day. We're going to do a little bit of reflecting here on the group stages from Paris. So get on Twitter and tell us what was your favorite moment from the 2015 group stage and why. As always, be sure to tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag Worlds so we can get your highlights on the desk later today. Before we shoot it over to the casters, gentlemen, as always, it's time for predictions. So down the line, AHQ, Invictus Gaming, game 1 of the day. Tabe, let's hear it.
IG.
IG.
I'm also going Invictus Gaming. They have some secret weapons. I feel like they're going to be able to bounce back, though. And this is also the one game against AHQ that they won last week, and it was rather convincing. There was the QSS that was used a little too early by On, but I don't feel like that's going to be an issue again, because there was also a stolen Baron. I feel like Kakao is going to be on top of his game today.
I'm going to go with IG as well, but it's not so much because I think they have what it takes to really take away the game, but because AHQ's draft is especially in the mid lane, really revolve around these assassins that are lacking wave clear. And this tournament has showed that so much revolves around wave management that in the first game when AHQ had against Cloud9, the no wave clear composition was really devastating to play. And with common picks like Kalista and just all these assassins in the mid lane, if they're not comfortable picking a wave clear champion, which Westdoor is obviously more familiar with assassins, I think they're going to struggle in just an overall macro game. So IG for me.
IG got the better of them last time. We'll see if they can do it again. That's going to do it for us here at the desk. Let's kick it inside Ladakh Pullman and get on the Rift.
Thank you very much, Dash, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Championships Caster Desk. I am Max Atlas Anderson, joined by the wonderful Christopher Monte Cristo Michaels and Sam Kobe, Hartman Kensler. And look, this first match, of course, 1 and 2 for both AHQ and IG, of course, Fnatic as well. We'll see who can pull ahead and see whether IG has any more strategies left.
I'm still hoping
more secret weapons.
More secret weapons that maybe aren't so secret anymore, but I'm still hoping for the 4-way 3-3 tie. Now, for this to happen, each team that won last week would have to lose to that same opponent this week.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
And Cloud9 don't have to lose to everybody.
Yep. I'm just hoping that we actually get to see that.
Yeah, it will be pretty exciting. That'd also be a very long day, Monte Cristo, which will be absolutely fantastic. You saw Westor on your screen right there, and we'll see whether he gets his fizz this time around. Of course, this game, we do have AHQ on the blue side, which means they may be a little bit more flexible as far as their picks are concerned. And Westor, I mean, he seems to just pick fizz whenever he can.
Yeah, I have to say, one of the biggest strengths for Invictus Gaming in this matchup is the mid lane here. Rookie just smashed Westor last time around. As you said, though, this time around, IG are on the red side, so they won't be able to throw as many targeted bans. I think they might hold on to at least the Twisted Fate ban, because that is a champion that would be devastating for Westor to grab. But the mid lane is also heavily influenced by the junglers, and both of these junglers have been hit or miss. Kakao and Mountain have both had horrendous games already so far with the Rengar as well as Kakao's Skarner game, so definitely a lot of variance coming from the jungle that could easily sway that mid lane as well. And whichever of those guys does show up can definitely influence them.
Yeah, we also have to talk about the duo lane, especially IG's, because On has been kind of the main gold siphon on AHQ. But IG, they played Kalista and Kennen in this last matchup. Now, they played Zatai on the Shen, and it was all about, okay, let's try and get our bottom lane ahead, protect them. But even then, they couldn't actually secure a Baron with Kalista. They got that steal. It was really, really unfortunate. IG had very poor vision control around that objective. But for me, IG, the story here is they're basically Chinese TSM. What do I mean by Chinese TSM? I mean
everything relates to TSM for you, huh?
Black and white logo?
They got black and white logo.
Yep.
They're probably not going to make it out of groups. No, not that. But in terms of percent damage, Rookie is dealing 41% of his damage. Kid is 16th of his team's damage. Kid is 16th for AD carries in terms of percent damage. That is absolutely awful. Kakao is 16th amongst junglers for percentage of team's damage. Rookie is carrying the crap out of IG right now. And they have to find some more balance, because being TSM didn't work for TSM, and being Chinese TSM is not going to work for IG. They need to share the load here, put Zatai on some of these split pushers that we know he can play.
Well, exactly. But let's take a look at the starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. Starting on the blue side of the stage with AHQ. The top lane is going to be Ziv. Mountain in the jungle. We'll see whether he brings out the Rengar again. Westor there in the mid lane, of course. The Fizz God himself. We'll see whether he gets that champion. And Arn and Albus there in AD carry and support. And the coach backstairs there as well.
And turning over to the other side of the Rift, Invictus Gaming on the red side. Zatai up in the top lane. He did win them the last matchup. Kakao in the jungle. Mid Rookie. AD carry Kid. And supporting him will be Kitties, of course. I have to say, that Shen taunt that Zatai did get off on, we can credit him and say that was sort of one of the game-winning plays, but as you said, that was a big mistake by On. Pretty much the rest of the tournament, though, On has been really big for HQ, and he's been a big carry force, so we don't expect that type of error to happen this time around.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Zatai, even in his lane, pretty much dominated the Maokai, got a solo kill in that game against...
And that's saying something, because Ziv is a really big force for AHQ.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to bring up here, though, is it seemed like we'd gone into some weird hyperbolic time chamber last game. We saw the big tanky top laners in the Maokai and the Shen. It's interesting. As we get into Champ Select, we'll see whether we do have any carry top laners. I want to see Zatai, play, maybe even more Riven. Just don't do it into Shen support and then get counterpicked. But here we are, Azir first ban, and Gangplank's going to be the answer.
Yeah, AHQ after last week, after all of their games, and they did a couple interviews, and I think it was On who was talking about that they have a much better handle, or they think they do, on the current meta after the first week of groups, and they have a much clearer idea of what to go for in picks and bans. Here, obviously, targeting that mid lane here.
Severely.
Banning out Rookie and a couple champions here. And first picking that at least for the jungle. So Kakao doesn't have to play Skarner.
Yeah, massive first pick rate as well for that Elise, so it makes a little bit of sense there. Still keeping the Kench on the bench is Invictus Gaming, but the standard GP and Mordekaiser red side bands still come through. Zatai with the hover of the Rengar.
Absolutely, and there's the Fizz too, but I think it's so smart for AHQ just to target out the mid lane on blue side. Again, Rookie has been the carry force here, so why give him anything that he could really work with? But, the Lulu and the Jinx will be the first
Lulu
things.
is one of the best in the world as well. He's absolutely fantastic on that champion.
Yeah, we'll see if the Morgana comes through as well, and they do a full-on protect Kid
The Jugga Jinx
composition here.
I don't know if I'd be putting all my eggs in the Kid basket right now.
If you protect it,
makes me nervous.
So there's two schools of thought, right? If you have a weakness, you either put everything into trying to protect it, or you just kind of leave them to the wolves. But meanwhile,
Wolves.
Wolves, you say for Kid. Well, I got the sides mixed up there. The Kakao has yet to choose his champion, and it's going to be Mountain on the Elise. Let's see if they do steal away half of the secret weapon there, taking Kalista.
Well, they
Not so
certainly
secret.
have. And that's a really strong bottom lane there as well, coming through for AHQ. So Thresh and Kalista already taken away. Kitty's signature Janna pick, and that'd make a lot of sense here. I do like it. Sort of adds to that Jugga Jinx flavor as well. And Zatai looking to pick up an Olaf, or it could be Kakao, who's basically everything.
Yeah, I really do like this pickup for Zatai, getting that Olaf. I mean, technically it could be a Kakao jungle Olaf, but we'll say that it's going to be a top lane here because that gives two threats that you can support with Lulu and Janna. Lulu and Janna both work well, also enabling Olaf. So if your Jinx does fail and Monte Cristo does not believe in Kid and he performs as he expects,
Putting a lot
then you
of
still
Monty's
have an
shoulders
Olaf
here, man.
on the front.
It's not all about, Monty doing it, but it's okay. It's okay. HQ now about to round out their picks here, and we'll see what Arn and Albus are going to lock away for Westor and Mountain.
Yeah, this is
available.
They're getting ostensibly counter picks to both of the solo lanes right now, unless IG really wants to flex in that last round of the draft. But the jungle, a bit of a mystery, and will the Hecarim come out as predicted by Tabe? It would not be bad with this composition for sure.
Lee Sin also, I think, was another one of the weapons. All right, so they do go with the Darius into that Olaf, and surprise, surprise, Westor Fizz comes through. So once again, no wave clear here. They've got the Kalista with no wave clear solo laners. Gonna be hard if AHQ get behind.
Tabe was right, everyone.
Tabe
and look,
was right.
AHQ probably didn't have enough time to listen, so nothing given away. And Kakao looks like he's going to go back to sort of the old style as well, the Ignite and the Smite on the Hecarim. We'll see whether he switches that over or anything.
Yeah, big thing here, though, is that Rookie is on the Lulu, so he's going to be trying to help out the rest of the team rather than taking it over himself. Lulu is no slouch in the early game, can easily punish Fizz, though, so can shove him under the turret, and we'll see what sort of CS deficit Westor gets himself into this game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this Invictus comp, though, considering the fact that Kakao did sort of farm up a whole lot on that Skarner, let them fall behind a whole lot early. Is he going to be focusing too much here on the Hecarim, just trying to get himself huge?
I think IG probably wants to lane swap here and just fast push with Jinx Janna and avoid until Kakao can hit 6 and they can really start doing some damage. HQ basically has no wave clear on this composition, so they're going to have a very tough time, I think, surviving this early game, even with Kakao just farming the jungle.
Yeah, it could be dangerous. And of course, self-sufficient lanes there as well, in the fact that they do have the undertow. Fantastic in a lane swap is the Olaf, and you've got the Lulu there as well with a whole lot. But as we get into game, tweet at LOL Esports and tell us who you think has the edge with the hashtag AHQ win or IG, and we'll see whether who's going to be right as we hop onto the Rift. I'm so excited for this particular matchup. Of course, Westor against Rookie, and Rookie on the Lulu now. He can sort of make his way through this laning phase with the fact that you neutralize a whole lot with that Lulu pickup.
Well, with IG's composition here, I have to say I'm very much favoring them. AHQ is going to have a tough time. Sure, they've got a dangerous skirmish, and they have the Darius and the Fizz, but I'm not sure they're ever really going to get a chance to do that, considering IG controls the lane so well.
Yeah, the thing is, this AHQ comp doesn't really operate well from behind because they have to get picks and they have to control vision. Whereas IG, they can start taking those early turrets that you talked about, and once all the outer turrets are down, it becomes incredibly difficult for AHQ to make one of those picks. It's going to have to be in their own territory if they do start losing ground.
Yeah, do we think that AHQ is probably going to start with a bit of focus on that top lane, try and get Ziv ahead early with the early sort of pressure of an Elise?
So while Ziv has been a really strong player for them, they haven't actually focused his lane that much. And they've focused a lot on the bottom lane, trying to get money down to On, so then On can start carrying. Ziv's an outstanding player, but they haven't focused his lane. So maybe they'll switch it up here. You know, Elise, very versatile, can get that Darius snowballing.
Yeah, On has also gotten so much of the gold. I mean, you and I were talking, Kobe, beforehand, and there's no other player except Imp that gets as much farm between 15 and 30 minutes as On. They give him all of the empty lane farm. And that's a concern here because the Kalista against an Olaf and a Hecarim ulting into the back line is going to be highly vulnerable. Zatai did opt for the flash here, interestingly enough, but he does have the Whimsy with the Lulu to make up for the lack of Ghost.
Yeah, and Cacao has gone with the Ignite in the jungle. So this is a Hecarim that was looking to duel you. Let's see if he does grab a kill with that Ignite. Cacao gonna try and carry here.
And by the looks of things, the lane swap is going to be answered, so a bit of upside down League of Legends going on.
Well, the reason why that happened is actually Ziv looked like he showed himself on the ward just behind the red buff there. So they actually faked him out a little bit, and we did see the recall from IG. Pretty sure they wanted that lane swap. They wanted to get the 2v1, but not going to happen after some clever vision play from AHQ early.
Yeah, and Alba's still hanging out there in the river, but Arnie's going to make it to lane, pick himself up some extra farm.
Interesting little adaptation there by IG as well, as they started out with the double jungle. Yeah, Cacao actually gonna let the small golem monsters there go over to Zatai, and then he gets down to lane ASAP.
Yeah, Albus also starting off with the Gromp experience himself, so getting to level 2 quite quickly, so they are very much committed to doing some damage in this lane, but fortunately On still at level 1. Wave pushes in for the moment.
Yeah, Kitten Kitty's pushing up very, very quickly. Westor doing his best to farm out, but Rookie just being annoying on this Lulu, as you generally will. Cow's going to start off his red buff, so funny business so much early on. And how do you see this sort of bottom lane slash top lane slash whatever the heck's going on down there with Zatai versus Ziv going?
I see it heavily influenced by the junglers here. I mean, mid lane's going to be constantly shoved in, so I don't see Mountain trying to make something happen on the mid lane. Westor is taking a bit of a beating. And the bottom lane is pretty much open season down there. 2 melee champions brawling constantly. Definitely does attract junglers, but it looks like he's going up top here. Gonna try and make a play on Kitty and Kid.
And Cacao going back and picking up the early Skirmisher Saber, which in the late game against what AHQ is running right here, they're gonna have a hard time actually dealing damage to Hecarim. I mean, this is very scary the later it goes.
This is a risky dive here that Mountain is going for. It's gonna have to be some really well played moves by AHQ if they actually want to pull this one off. All summoners are available, but there is no exhaust on Kitties actually. He's gone for the Ignite with Janna looking for the kill. So that might make it easier.
Be dangerous.
They better land the skill shots if they want to come out ahead.
They're gonna go for it. We'll see if they actually show right here. At least some of that top side. No, just hovering around that tri-brush and immediately backing out.
Yeah, Zatai actually getting a full stack of that passive from Ziv there in the bottom lane as all of that was going on in the top side.
Yeah, a 3v2 tower dive when everyone's level 3 is really hard to pull off, and Mountain using up quite a bit of time there. Meanwhile, Cacao, since he saw Mountain on the top side of the map, obviously is going to go in, look for some counter jungling, and is going to make Mountain pay for his time spent up on the top side. And Kakao pulls ahead here in the jungle experience a little bit. Also gets some deep wards down before he leaves.
Yeah, that's actually quite helpful for Invictus Gaming, just to have that additional bit of farm, and we'll see how well Mountain can respond to it. He's going to do a little bit of counter jungling of his own, but Kakao should be there soon enough. And this is very risky for him to do.
May get out of there in time. Of course, the wolf's still being taken here by Kakao, but you're right. Ballsy maneuver there from Mountain.
So both
take the big one and go.
top laners also use their teleports to get right back to lane, trying to buy small increases in power. Well, he only took the big one, so that's a lot of money left there. Kakao can clear it out fairly quickly. Again, returning to the top lane, though. This, I think, he's kind of waiting around for a counter gank, but he's on a ward.
It is going to wear off here, but Kakao running forward. Mountain looks like he didn't even see him there as he runs straight into the cocoon. Kitties throws out the Zephyr Mountain. Oh, that was a fantastic Howling Gale.
So
that's going to be first blood.
Volatile jungle matchup there. Mountain spends so much time up top. Returns and sits on a ward here. Easy move for Kakao.
Not to mention, he just had Machete, so the Smite upgrade doing work for Kakao, basically ensuring that he's going to win that duel. Not very much damage coming out of Mountain quite yet, and that's a very easy first blood.
And there's almost nothing that he can gain by sitting in that brush. You know, On and Albus could keep track of when Kitties and Kid move over there and place their trinket wards, so maybe a lack of communication there. Really the only benefit Mountain could have gone would be if there was a counter gank, and even then, it would only be to stop the counter gank, so... I mean, stop the gank, so yeah.
Interesting. Well, Westor, he's going to head back to base, grabs himself the Fiendish Codex and a Doran's Ring. He's going to head back. Bit of a CS deficit there, but will catch a wave as it heads towards the turret, and Rookie is going to do the same. We'll see what he decides to pick up.
Looking very good for IG here, though. That also gave Kakao an experience boost, getting that, getting a share of that kill. So Hecarim going to scale pretty well here. Looks like he is going to go for the Cinder Hulk Hecarim as well.
Oh,
Mountain!
Yeah,
what makes you think you can go in IG's jungle after dying like that?
Well, he's going to die again. The other two comes through, and Zatai's going to lock that one down. Kakao standing out of range of the rappel as well was beautiful.
There are two things that you need to do before going into the enemy jungle. First of all, well, I guess he still has his flash. He didn't use the first time he died. But you have to have lane presence. You have to at least have your laners push up the lanes this early in the game. It's so dangerous to go into IG territory. Yet Mountain goes on a solo mission there, and they actually don't even call Zatai's move straight up the river, catching him out.
Yeah, not only that, but he should know that Kakao recalled at the same time, and it takes longer for him to walk into the enemy jungle than it does for Kakao, who basically just went back immediately to walk into that same side of his own jungle, so you just can't play like that.
This is why we've seen the rise of the teams with really good jungle and support duos. Because of the danger of getting this early vision, you need someone like the Thresh who's on your team who could lantern you out when you're trying to get that first round down, but he goes on a solo mission.
Yeah, not to mention, if we just take a look at On dominating that lane in terms of CS right now. They've kept it pushed up the entire time. Can be very easy for AHQ just to send Albus over into the top side. You need to control the top side, control the side of the map that you're winning right now, and that bottom lane vision really doesn't give you a whole lot.
Well, there's a lot of wards in the jungle there for IG. We'll know who's coming up. Pinkward, unfortunately, not going to be spotting it there for AHQ, but Kid and Kitty's now trying to shove this one out. But you're exactly right. I mean, that CS lead still there as a huge wave heads towards the turret for Arn to eat up.
And AHQ needed these early advantages. They had to get them because the later this game goes...
I was looking for the combo there.
Yeah.
Throw the lantern, then take the second half of the hook, but they didn't have quite enough vision to be confident to go for it, I guess.
So right now, as we take a look at IG, they've got everything they want. They got the first blood onto Jinx. Well, that's going to normalize the AD carry matchup just a little bit. They've got the Olaf ahead, so now On in a whole heap of trouble, and Rookie's just been taking care of himself versus Westor in this mid lane. And this is quickly spiraling out of control. You can take a look at it and you say, okay, 1K gold deficit. But with these two team compositions, this is pretty disastrous.
Exactly. I mean, not only has Mountain, kind of set back the two important lanes there for his team, but Kakao is going to outscale him as well. Already completed the Cinder Hulk, and they're easily taking Dragon without having to give up presence in any of the lanes right now.
Yeah, this is sort of the standard IG move as well. You just move the lane swap down towards the bottom side, get all of that control. Hook was optimistic there from Albus, but the Dragon, is going to be secured here by Kakao.
I'm really surprised by AHQ. The game that we saw them lose versus Cloud9, they played, again, with the Fizz and the Darius and the very low amount of wave clear with a pick-oriented jungler in Rengar. Now they have Elise, but it's effectively the same strategy. And they failed to snowball the solo lanes. And it's just happening again. It was very ineffective in the first outing of a similar composition, and they're just running it again.
The thing that I'm worried about here is the fact that AHQ, I mean, they banned 3 of Rookie's champions, and then he hops on arguably his most successful in the Lulu. Those bans literally meant nothing.
Many questions, Adam.
Many questions, Monte Cristo, most definitely. But bottom lane is going to normalize, so we do actually have a bot lane now, which is handy. 2v2, Kid and Kitty's playing very far back. Pierce not going to find them though. 97 to 82 in that farm. Ziv taking a lot of damage there from Zatai, but the Apprehend comes in. That's going to be a lot of damage. Zatai, he wants it. The ult comes down, but it's not enough. Oh, flashes forward. Is the passive going to do what it is? And Ziv grabs a solo kill.
Once again, even though AHQ don't give much to Ziv, they even actually fed a kill to his lane opponent, and he still comes up with an outplay.
Well,
he's a shining light for AHQ right now. He is their hopes. Their hopes and dreams rest on his shoulders.
It's a pretty dark night, though, Kobe, at the moment. It's Kid and Kitties. They are going to clear out a ward. Fantastic stuff. Vision control definitely in their favor here on the bottom side, and they're moving their vision around the map as well, which is what I like. So 2 pink wards there on the top side for AHQ. But IG not taking care of that area anymore.
For IG, though, they got the first dragon. Okay, Zatai made a little boo-boo in the top side, but they got the first dragon. That was another key aspect for AHQ to look to snowball up that objective to win early on in this game. But now IG, with that one and their ability to control the dragon in the late game, should be feeling very confident. HQ needs more big outplays like that to really turn the tides.
Zatai, I think, you know, if you're going to go all in on Darius like that, the Juggernaut battles, you have to fully commit and try and get inside the Q range there. If he had fully committed and just stayed in there and went melee, kept auto-attacking, you know, not getting hit with the edge of the Q, that's really your only hope. Because after you're that deep in a one-on-one brawl, you know, flash for flash, of course he's going to follow you and complete the dunk.
Also, just because of Olaf's passive, you're more dangerous the lower you get. So if you kind of do want to go all in when you have those opportunities.
It was a close duel until he's decided to run away. Down bottom, though.
Yeah, a lot of trouble here. Super down target, not quite enough. The Ignite's ticking. One more tick. He flashes just for fun, just to show that he is going to survive. Pierces his way away, and man, that was close.
Yeah, Kakao's looking to use his Hecarim ultimate as well. He was just heading down the lane. Right now, though, since they forced him out, this is probably going to be that first turret. We'll see that chain of turrets now. IG going to try and burn this one down, then rotate the Jinx plus Janna combo.
And there's just no wave clear in the mid lane, so they've got a lot of choices about where they want to go right now. Can they control this Darius? Mountain on the top side, but he's been seen with a pink ward in the tri-brush, it appears, so that's just going to be Zatai immediately backing off, not even going to risk the dive.
Just going to wait for the bottom lane to move up towards that top side, you'd assume grab that outer turret. Classic Jinx maneuver. I mean, she kills turrets pretty quick, may as well utilize it.
All right, so they're actually, just going to switch him up into top lane right now. A little bit dangerous considering the invasion that's going on in the topside jungle, but trying to save this turret. Looks like they will be successful to that end if Kitties wants to shield it.
Negative, and they might get dove here. So HQ, this is a big play for them. Can they pull off the pick?
Oh, box comes down. Kitty's in a whole bunch of trouble. The hook lands onto Kid. Rookie teleporting into Ties here as well. Kitty's, though, he's going to get destroyed. Ziv with the passive running from the ultimate. No re-engage to come in for IG. Oh, unless Kakao wants it. Nope.
Decides better of it. Westor is in the back line for some reason. Gets that smite down on him.
He's just going to playfully trickster away, but interesting. IG losing one, though. Nice catch out there for AHQ.
All right, they also were able to get the turret on top of it. And, Mountain just barely misses his cocoon.
Flash out of the way of the death sentence as well.
Oh. if that cocoon hits, then they can try and snowball, probably get mid-turret off of that kill as well.
One of the really big factors in the last game between these two teams was that vision control. Both teams a little bit lackluster. IG actually managed to get a 23-minute Baron just because we did see on the opposite side of the map. They took advantage of that opportunity. But then IG, when they went for the second Baron, they didn't properly ward around the backside of the pit. They were playing on blue side, and that allowed Mountain to get a steal. And again, they're playing very disrespectfully towards Vision. They know that AHQ was just in that topside jungle. They walk through a whole host of wards, and they find AHQ quite obviously there, commit too much to saving that tower, and don't back off in time.
Yep, giving AHQ a little bit of a window to get back in here. And good job by AHQ jumping on the opportunity. Pretty big swing there to get that turret gold, as well as some map pressure on the top side. Now they've got a bunch of wards to continue to allow Ziv to try and push. The kill did go over to him again, so Ziv definitely a lot of pressure on his shoulders to carry right now. He has hit level 11 for Darius for the extra level in his ultimate as well. Can still pull out those pentadunks in the team fight.
Also 2 TPs up for AHQ. None for Invictus Gaming right now, so pressure's just going to keep mounting in that top side for Darius.
Also, I have to say, Westor, the CS deficit, perfectly acceptable in Fizz versus Lulu matchup.
Oh, yeah.
He actually did not get punished too heavily.
Crucially, did not lose his tower.
Yeah, that was the big deal. Of course, one thing I really like as well out of the AHQ comp is that if they do manage to get a pick, and they've got a lot of abilities to do that with the Cocoon and the Death Sentence, you get Ziv that passive rolling on the ultimate, they can roll over the rest of the fight if it does ensue, and it's a lot of the reason why IG decided not to re-engage in that situation. We'll see whether they can utilize that as the game moves forward.
This bottom lane has to play so safe for IG. They don't have any backup right now. No teleports available for them. And Kakao is slowly making his way over to try and provide some support.
AHQ needs to get this dragon. You can see them pushing the way forward right now, threatening that dive, but they can't just wait here until the TPs come back up, and they are ticking ever closer. They need to actually commit to this. Looks like they are going to be pulling it out now.
And Westor had managed to push that wave up there as well, as Rookie staying very far back. Dragon looks to be falling here on. Just going to rend it. Pull the spears out. No, not even going to do it. Doesn't want to waste the mana. And now he can just smite it away.
Nobody likes rending objectives in this matchup, it seems.
Apparently not.
IG, nope. AHQ, nope.
Well, look at this quick map movement up towards mid lane after the dragon. Can they finish it off? IG gonna try and defend here, but they leave top open for Ziv now. Ziv also has defensive wards there from that earlier play, so he can just back right off.
Yeah, and despite some decisive early moves here from IG, it looks like they're playing scared at this stage of the game.
They lost so much tempo with that play up top. They had a lot of momentum in the game, but the duo going up top, getting cornered, and then the kill for HQ on the tower as well. Just what they needed.
Yeah, that said, IG going even in gold at 20 minutes, definitely not the worst thing for them.
True.
At all, considering their composition and that they opted into this unfavorable matchup in their duo lane, and they built really a round kid in this, and they've got the Hecarim just keeping on farming and working his way
towards the Trinity Force here.
Oh, yeah.
Kakao with the jungle Hecarim.
He's doing it dandy right now, because Dandy moved to the top lane. Kakao's like, oh, I'm a bit jealous. The fact that, you know, my now in China Korean brethren get to do that. He's just building top lane Hecarim in the jungle.
I mean, he's got Ignite. He's looking for the carry. There's so much burn damage on the Challenging Smite plus the Ignite.
He's bitter that he was 16th in damage share among players. Making up for it in one game. He's going to tip the scales.
Everyone always talks about the Kid 443 game, but Kakao had an 880-something damage game here.
You didn't just mention the 443 Vayne game. There's an interesting statistic. He's 9-1 on Vayne, his Kid. He just needs to do over 500 damage and he can win.
Well, no Vayne this game, so.
No, not happening.
Thought it might come out again.
One can hope. There's still a couple more games today.
This So that's the key to Vayne. You get just the damage from Silver Bolts, so you don't actually need items or to win lane at all.
Well, look
You
at
need
this
4 digits in the damage,
flank
Monty.
here.
That's what you need, at least 4 digits.
They need to place a teleport to get that teleport, or a ward to get the teleport in
Cocoon
back.
down onto Kitties, though, takes about half of his health there as Mountain comes in. The Chum the Waters is down, but the Monsoon's there. Arn picks up the first kill as there's the Onslaught of Shadows, not doing too much from Cacao, as he's going to have to get out, but can't. There's no flash there. That flash from Zip right in, but the apprehend's not going to find it, and IG can disengage.
All right, they're going to be able to take the turret after it, though.
No flank wards at all coming in for Invictus Gaming as they push up on that turret, and they are very brutally punished. Mountain just sneaks in the side and gets a cocoon. And a kind of delayed reaction there from Kitties. Dies, his flash still up, tried to burn that Monsoon instead.
Look at the wards. IG just don't have any on the map here. So there's Mountain. Let's see who drops the ward. I think he's going to put it down for him. Yeah, Mountain actually places the ward for the teleport to come in. Kitties just gets exploded here.
What is this pink ward doing in the middle of the lane right now is my major question, but taking a look at the rest of this fight, I mean, An gets out very easily. Cacao gets into the front line, but he's got no support at that point in time, so AHQ roaring right back in this one, surprisingly.
Yeah, completely. Almost 2,000 gold now, the lead for this team. Hops on top of the land there as well, does Arn. Kid and Kitties make their way back towards the bottom side. Kid throwing down another pink ward.
You can't afford to play this lazy against AHQ. AHQ are a team that will continually look to make big plays like this, look for those team fights, and look to punish you for not warding up even your own jungle here. It's already cost IG multiple kills and 2 outer turrets.
And a whole ton of vision deep in their own jungle. I love what we see right now. You can see these wards on either side of the mid lane. That's great for setting up picks in case Rookie or somebody wanders towards the mid lane trying to defend. So great blanket vision, AHQ, making the most of these opportunities.
And now also able to play around Ziv as well. That carry in the top lane, 2-0 and 2 now on the Darius, has a decent CS lead on about 20 as Westo, he's trying to find his way in. Albus lines up the hook but can't find it under Kid.
Yeah, Ziv going DPS here. Sterix Gage for the second item. He is going to be a monster for that next team fight. Even if IG try and take him down from the front line. You know, Kid, he can't really afford to ignore the front line, so he's going to dump damage into him, and it's just going to make Ziv do more.
Well, Cacao's about 700 gold away from that Trinity Force, getting that power spike at about 22 minutes. And Mountain, he's going a bit of DPS too here with the Haunting guys.
And the Rune Glaive. So this is pure pick. AHQ gets into a team fight, and this Elise is just going to explode. But in the meantime, the burst damage is very high.
Exactly, and they've had success with these flanks here for AHQ. So continue to build that way. You know, IG aren't getting defensive vision up, so might as well. If you catch someone, now he's going to be able to blow him up.
And this is the vision edge. Kitties.
Oh my goodness.
Jen is a tricky mistress there. Very speedy.
Nice try. Nice try, but that's what they've got to do. Couple pink wards on the Baron right now. They're trying to bait that as we speak. A little bit tough with the Fizz still showing in the bottom side, but does have the TP in case they want to make a play onto that objective. And IG just holed up in their own base right now, trying to reclaim a bit of their own jungle.
Yep, surprise, surprise as well. Westor there towards the bottom side. Recalling now, but was split pushing away. Rookie going to pick up that wave as it heads towards the turret, but it's a very interesting Baron call, but there's no vision available for IG. Teleports are up, but Kitties, can he get the ward over there in time? Mountain very low. As you mentioned, relatively low tankiness in the build.
Plus, it's extremely early in the game, so doing Baron is very costly this early because you're going to sustain a whole bunch of damage. They did have complete vision coverage with the True Sight and seeing Rookie down bottom, but going to be chased off there.
I mean, why not try it, though? At that point in time, you have the Kalista for the secure. I think you at least make an effort on that. Ziv was about to come in and finish off the tanking. And you don't really lose anything. Because they have the waves pushed up in the mid and the top side, they didn't lose any vision control. It's just Mountain going back and healing back up again.
We've seen Kalista Rens fail in this matchup, but it was on the other foot. It was on the other foot.
He's never going to live that down.
So, Dragon, that should be secured a little bit easier. Let's see here. Cacao wants to contest, though.
Well, Westor is going to use the playful tricks to get out of the way of the horse. Spear's still in it, but they are going to run out. IG pick up the aggro.
Both top laners do have teleport.
Yeah, Olaf actually running towards this one now as well. Dragon's going to reset. IG looking to hold up position. AHQ here as well. Darius making his way in. It is going to be a 5v5. We'll see whether IG have leveled up enough in order to make this one work. Their comp should be pretty good at this. Yeah, and the Trinity Force is completed.
Yeah, big finish on the item there for Kakao.
As far as the top laners, though, Ziv has a full giant spell over Zatai right now.
AHQ just switching it up, and they're going to siege the tier 2. They don't have a great composition for this, so they've got to take any angles they can. A lot of melee champions.
I mean, they did a great job zoning them with that dragon presence, and they get the turret.
Yeah, Rookie looking to try and get something done. The Q doesn't land there from Ziv, who takes the land, but Kakao, he's got a decent flank, decides to head straight into the middle of the team. Lots of damage, but Repel's going to save him. Westor takes down Kakao. Mountain's very low. Albus as well. There are so many low members on this AHQ lineup. Westor burning to death. The Zap not going to find him. Kid rockets forward, gets excited. Kiddies with the Monsoon, gets on out of there. Baron's going to finish him off. Ziv is massive in this fight as Mountain somehow still alive. Not entirely sure how that one worked. Cocoon lands. Rookie gets taken out, an AHQ 4 for 3.
What a disjointed team fight right there. And AHQ, Ziv, we talked him up. He comes out on top. Constant healing from spamming the Q as well.
How did Mountain survive? And take some red buff as well. Okay.
So we'll wait for the replay, but it was kind of a disjointed engage there. Kakao took a lot of damage before the DPS was able to come in.
I just don't know what Kitty was doing for most of these fights, but anyway, Kakao coming in
This
here.
is Kakao and Zatai versus the team, basically. Rookie has to flash in there, Kid has to flash in there just to get in range of the fight. That's 2 flashes on the backline carries here from IG just to get in range of the fight.
You just see the retreat right there. Westor just barely making it out until Kid gets a reset on the other side.
Oh, what a cocoon
up,
on the Kid right there.
Well, he walked into a blind brush. He couldn't actually see anyone in there when he wrapped around. And then Rookie gets tied up by the cocoon. And there's a lot of execute damage on the Rune Glaive Elise. He did use Wild Growth onto Kakao at the beginning of that fight, I believe.
No, it was up.
Oh, interesting.
He was never in range, and he tried to get in range of Zatai as well, but he wasn't quite there. It was just a little bit unfortunate, and then cocooned and killed. So we are getting a slight replay of that particular situation right there. And IG, even on Dragons now, have started up the second one for themselves.
Looks like they're going to give the Dragon for the secondary turret. They have Ziv split pushing right now, and he's going to be able to take that one down.
Yep, Cow eats himself some fish, but he will be fine. Ziv just going to trade this one.
All right. So, yes, they did use Wild Growth on Kakao.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did on Kakao at the beginning of that fight. It came in with the Hecarim engage.
That was what the flash was for from Rookie to get in range.
Yeah.
A little bit of confirmation there. And we have HQ again, setting up in the exact same brush for this pick, but IG still not falling for it.
They do have their... Oh, Kid gets caught.
Yeah, caught out. There's the cocoon and the death sentence. That's going to secure it as Kakao makes his way in. The ultimate goes down, but another Repel. Mountain just gets himself out of there. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to find it, and there's the Fate's Call. Some extra damage onto the Baron there for AHQ, but they lose no one for the pick.
Yeah, yet another pick here. AHQ constantly controlling the vision on IG's red quadrant of the jungle.
You don't want to be doing the Baron at the same time, however, that you make that pick. So they took a lot of unnecessary damage onto Ziv by trying to tank that objective while simultaneously having the support and the jungler on the outside of the pit.
But once again, they're able to just back off after they get the pick. No harm, no foul for AHQ, and they get another bit of money for the pockets.
Yeah, 6,000 gold is the lead here as well now for AHQ. They are streaming ahead. 3-0-5.
Baron pink boards have been ridiculously efficient.
Yeah.
There has been really no attempt from IG to get into that side of the river at all and try and overtake some control. So they having a really tough time right now. They get some green wards in, but those pink wards have been invaluable for AHQ.
That's a Dead Man's Plate as well. On top of Ziv, he's going to be huge heading into these next fights. But you can see
he
AHQ,
already is.
Well, that is a very good point. I like how he's trying out all the new items as well. Strokes Gauge, Dead Man's Plate.
These are the most effective ones for Darius, especially if you are ahead and looking to continue the snowball.
Okay.
Speaking of items as well, Arn, he's well and truly happy with what he has. The Blade of the Ruined King, Hurricane, as well as that last Whisper and the QSS. Mountain lands another Cocoon. Much more impressive on the Elise than the Ringer.
Well, except for the first 5 minutes of the game, where you know, he tried his he tried his best to.
That was to throw us all off, right?
Exactly.
It was.
False sense of
It
security.
AHQ, he has to give them a mountain to climb every game. You see, that's living
okay.
up to his name right
Liked
there.
it. Liked it a lot. Well, IG able to at least clear some wards out in their jungle. Can't quite get to that Baron pit just yet.
Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad he's actually going for the Randuins. I was hoping for the Rylais for the full AP Elise build. Go big or go home. But I think realistically, much better for him to have a Randuins in this particular matchup.
Yeah, probably a good point. Since dying twice in the early game as well, 3, 0, and 5.
Yeah, he's definitely picked it up.
Oh, yeah. Halverson Mountain now continue to clear out some vision. So IG managed to get one ward in the pit. It's gone.
And HQ actually switching up here, trying to rely on the power in Ziv and his split push to create the pressure. Here comes the teleport, though. They've been able to draw out that important cooldown. Now they can just back off Baron and take the turret. They don't have to restart this Baron. They should actually just back away from it. They can get a lot of free damage on that top turret, but the engage from IG.
Yeah, there's the Flash Zephyr, but Lanton's just going to get him out of there.
Flash Zephyr engage.
He was already in range.
There is nothing you can do with a Flash Zephyr engage against a Callista Thresh lane.
Well, they got the turret here for AHQ.
Yeah, you can lose a turret is apparently what you can do.
Well, it was sort of an IG panic right there. You're like, oh no, we used our teleport cooldown. We have to force in this engage or else we're going to lose that top turret for nothing there.
Yeah. Well, more vision going to be cleared as they just start off the Baron one more time. There have been a lot of Baron starts this game. See whether AHQ can actually secure it this time around. No vision is going to be put down. Kakao still waiting here. I think he understands that they could possibly be down. Teleport coming in, though. That is going to be Rookie making his way over the top. Westor's going to find him straight away. Just immediately eaten by the fish. Baron secured as well, and AHQ streaming ahead in this game. It's 9,000 gold now, the lead, and a Baron buff circling around this side. And this is the HQ we were expecting, sort of the dark horse heading into the competition.
That was brutal. Yet they don't care about wave clear. They're just going to make picks to come back into the game. It's a risky strategy, but they were able to perform.
Well, they did control the Baron vision for a very, very long time quite well, so they were able to make that comeback and actually secure the objective, take the inhibitor. But, I mean, IG has been all over the place, too. He saw Fizz standing on his ward. I don't know what he thought was going to happen when he TP'd in there, but Darius and Fizz, right there when you TP in, the odds of surviving that are almost zero.
That's a cancel.
Yeah.
Well, we'd hope it was a cancel, Kobe. We'd hope.
Wasn't this time around. Rookie, though, probably learned the lesson pretty quickly.
Yeah, let's see if we can watch Ziv in action some more here. Yeah, the reason I say like these are the best items for Darius when he's ahead is because you stack up so much speed with the Dead Man's Plate. You can get there for the engage, and once you're in range, your Black Cleaver speed takes over. Yes, you use up your Dead Man's proc, and then you have the constant bleeding to renew speed for him, and you have the backup damage from Sterix, so he's a complete monster. Meanwhile, Westor finds a solo kill.
Yep, Kakao is going to fall down. Westor grabs himself the dragon there at the same time as AHQ secure that on the other side of the map, and this is all going wrong for IG.
Well, I mean, there's just no MR yet onto Kakao, and it's proving to be quite problematic as long as Westor is able to keep split pushing, and with that TP, of course, he'll have every opportunity to do that, and now we're just going to see him push forward onto the bottom side.
He's taking a lot of damage there as well as Mountain gets caught by the Chompers. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. That was optimistic. Satai now going to undertow a huge siege minion, but AHQ just going to keep sieging the 1-4. Westor is there on the top side. Ziv just wandering his way through. This tower is going to fall.
I like the idea of a super mega optimism rocket.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
All these rune glaives with all these, of course, Lichbane in the top side. They're going to make short work of these objectives in a split push, and Here we go.
Yep, Kitty's gonna get apprehended and destroyed. Arn picks up the kill. Rookie gonna get eaten by the fishes. Westor uses the Zonias right on top of the Nexus. Even takes a lantern to safety there as AHQ. They're on the fountain. The Nexus is exposed to Ty all the way in the back of his fountain, but still not safe. As somehow Mountain was tanking that for far too long, but the Nexus falls. AHQ even out the matchup here, and IG look all over the place.
They do indeed, but my dream of each team that won last week beating their opponent again for the 4-way 3-3 tie is still alive, so I'm pumped.
Well, we'll see if it can continue as the day goes out. And I just would prefer if you didn't talk to IG beforehand because looked like they were having a good time in the early game, but just didn't work out as the game went on.
Yeah, somebody check in on Spawn for us, please, because
who did he predict?
IG fans are definitely not happy right now.
He wasn't on the desk this time, but I have a feeling he may have twittered something out. I don't know.
They had a decent amount of control there with a good early start, picking off the jungler 2 times. But AHQ comes up big with the picks.
Yeah, massive. And of course, Mountain playing fantastically after the first 10 minutes there on the Elise, getting all the picks that they needed. And Ziv just got way too big. Huge congratulations to this team. And Westel there with a solo kill onto Kakao at the end, sort of icing on the cake. Fizz just pretty good.
Well, the 3 mid lane bans, I mean, we can talk about how Rookie's a great Lulu player, but at this tournament, he has been so much of his team's damage that taking away some of his big carries actually proved very efficient because no one else in that game really stepped up to fill that void.
Yeah, and Kid just still having a pretty horrible experience here at Worlds. I mean, the first week wasn't exactly Kid's week. Had a decent game against AHQ last time around, but other than that, nothing really going their way. And this bottom lane for IG, bit of a liability.
I'm curious as to what went on with the shot calling there in the early game for them as well, because it might not be Kid and Kitty's fault. Maybe they were told to move up to that top side.
Well, it is generally what they do in the LPL as well, so that's sort of what they're used to. It seemed like they were just in their stride saying, okay, well, we know what to do next, but these lane swaps have not been working out for these LPL teams because they're done so differently.
They haven't actually picked up on it or adapted appropriately. And one thing coming into this, after watching that first game between these two teams, was vision. Who was actually going to step up to the plate and get the wards down? And that was unequivocally AHQ in this game. They did a great job controlling the wards around the Baron and the upper side of the river, and that helped them quite a bit in winning this game.
Yeah, those 3 pink Baron wards definitely lasted a long time. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's send it back to the desk to break down that game.
Thank you, gentlemen. A solid win there for AHQ. They actually even up the head-to-head against IG, pull ahead in the actual standings. The head-to-head might come into play later in the day when it comes to tiebreakers, but I want to hop into the pick ban because we saw one of those secret strats come out. We saw the Hecarim come out for IG, however, to no avail this time. So I want to get your thoughts, Tabe, on this pick and ban and why specifically they went for Hecarim in this scenario.
I really want to say something about the pick bans because I think IG really did really good at the pick ban phase because I think Lulu really counters Fizz. I think everyone knows that Westor is really good at Fizz and Assassins, and picking Lulu to counterpick all the Assassins is really good. And the second thing is they banned Kench. While they're picking 2 Juggernauts to face tank their Kalista. That is really good about pick ban, but we have to know that they also picked Olaf for counterpicking Darius, but he performed poorly with getting the first kill, but he also lanes badly against Darius and got solo killed. It is a very bad point. And the second point is, I think Kitty's isn't a good Giant player because there's 2 very important mistakes. The first mistake is there's no wards at the left mid lane brush while he put a pink ward in the middle of the mid lane. It is very weird, and he got stunned by Elise. And it is, I have a lot of question marks on my face. and the next thing is, I think why you have to initiate as a Janna. You flash W into Kalista with Quicksilver Slash. I have more question marks on my face now.
Well, you brought up the concept of vision here. And Crumbs, I know we have some thoughts on the way that Vision play, as well as Monte Cristo had some thoughts about Vision play.
Yeah, I agree with Tabe completely. I thought the draft was awesome for IG. You know, they picked a really solid comp. They have great siege, you know, good things all around. But I feel like they tunnel vision so hard in the preparation. In terms of fixing their macro play, just go for, you know what, we're going to beat you with weird composition. We're going to add the Hecarim, spice things up. And the reason why we don't see champions like Hecarim and the 4 meta junglers right now are Lee Sin, Rek'Sai, Elise, and Gragas is because all 4 of those build Sightstone. All 4 of those also have abilities to face check brushes. The vision game was very poor. Kitties just is not playing well at all. And because Kakao is on a non-Sightstone jungler that needs a lot of farm and their macro game is not good, AHQ can sit in IG's jungle and just permanently kill them over and over and over. And they have no way to detect whether they are there or not. The only tool they had was the Scrying Orb from Kit, and he never used it. Even in one fight, he could have done it, but it was just awful all over the place. The macro game is just devastated for IG. I don't think they're going to be able to get very far playing like this.
Yeah, you're talking about the vision game outside of fights, but inside of fights, they were also very key. The Scrying Orb came up. It didn't actually come up. It was up. It was available here. They don't have Rocket for this fight, and it would have been amazing if he had held on to this Rocket. He just fired it middle. Kid was just trying to clear a wave. But what ends up happening here is Rookie, he's running off the left side. He's not backing up Kid. He's not basically reinforcing this Jinx. In Westor, you see the reset come through here for Kid. Runs into the brush. He has Scrying Orb. Scrying Orb the brush. You don't have to face check this. And he gets cocooned, and Rookie's on the opposite side of the fight from him. And it just ends up being an absolute disaster. So if they had had more vision available to them, if they had set this fight up properly, and you're talking about their macro game, their micro game, their mechanics do not seem on point.
It's lack of trust in your teammates. Just you want to do your thing solo kind of thing.
Well, they weren't even doing their own thing. The Scrying Orb was totally available. Yeah. That's a solo play at that point.
Now, that being said, AHQ played the vision game very well. So from a macro sense, things are looking up for them. Mm-hmm. However, there could be some questions raised about their early play, especially by Mountain, with some very strange movements into the enemy jungle without any kind of support and giving up early kills.
I'm still not sold on Mountain because when you banned out the Rek'Sai and the Elise, he resorted to the Rengar, which was overwhelmingly bad. And nobody else seems to want to target him again. We saw how poor he played the early game. Maybe put him on a weaker champion that he will falter even more. So the games that AHQ has to play in the purple side, I would be very worried for Mountain getting targeted. And also, Westor seems to always pick Fizz no matter what.
Yeah, they're very predictable in their pick ban. The Fizz is going to come through, and I thought IG did draft a really good composition to deal with the Fizz, to have the counters with the Janna and the Lulu and the wave clear. But you can't really ban out Mountain when you're red side. You really have to ban Gangplank, Mordekaiser, and then they threw Tahm Kench in there too. And I also think AHQ, despite everything that went wrong with them, they did go for some comfort here. Ziv did have a carry top lane champion, and he actually got to draft the Darius after he had seen the Olaf. So he was actually able to go into that with comfort, knowing that that was a counter pick for him.
And I think what I have to agree with Crumbs, Crumbs spotted a very good point about, I have never think of that because I'm not good at jungling, but Crumb's point is very crucial. Why you have to pick a champion without buying a Sightstone? At the early stage, like Elise is like a silly guy, he's invading the jungle and he failed badly, and we can see that Hecarim has finished the green, what's the name of it?
Cinderhulk?
The
Cinderhulk.
Yes,
with the fire.
Yeah.
The Sunfire Cape jungler item.
Yeah.
And he soloed the dragon with Janna. He's having a huge lead, and Elise is doing nothing. But after that, when Elise brought out his first Sightstone, he controls the map, controls all the vision, and we can find that Hecarim is not snowballing the jungle phase.
Yeah, he takes way too much gold.
The vision game was there for AHQ. The macro game was there, and they come away with the first win of the day. We need to take a quick break, but the action continues when we return with an EU versus NA clash between Fnatic and Cloud9. We'll take a look at that right after this.
AHQ and IG. We'll see who can pull ahead and see whether IG has any more strategies left. It's going to be a lot of damage to Ty. He wants it. The ult comes down, but it's not enough. Oh, flashes forward. Is the passive going to know what it is? Mountain comes in. The Chum the Waters is down, but the Monsoon's there. Arn picks up the first kill as there's the onslaught of shadows. Not doing too much from Kakao. Westor burning to death. The Zap not going to find him. Kid rockets forward, gets excited. Kiddies with the Monsoon gets Arn out of there. It's AHQ. They're on the fountain. The Nexus is exposed to Ty all the way in the back of his fountain, but still not safe. the matchup here, and IG look all over the place.